got over here as quick as I could, but what the heck is this really necessary for me to come over here so fast? I'm still working on that stupid sequel for the Matrix that you wanted. What could possibly be so important that it drop everything and come down here?
As I predicted, that silly sci-fi movie of yours sold like condoms at an anime convention. Now the fans are demanding to spend more money. I mean, they are demanding to see more movie. Since you are taking too long writing the sequel, I have decided to create multiple short films set in the Matrix and release them before the sequel.
Okay, I mean, that does make sense, but then why would you want me? Oh, no.
That is right. I need you to write scripts for 9 short films. And I need those done before you finish the sequel. I've also found a place to hide your body in case you say no.
How the hell am I supposed to finish a sequel script if I have to stop and write scripts for 9 short films?
That is your problem and not mine. And make sure that some of the short films connect to the movies. So, what ideas have you got in mind?
I don't know. This is kind of last minute. Let's see. Well, since you want something to connect to the movies, we could have one of them be about the story about how the war started in the first place. I mean, I'd already come up with a story for that, but I wasn't actually planning on putting it in any of the films.
Then why come up with the story if you aren't going to use it? Writers make no sense.
So, our story starts explaining that in the beginning, there was man, and life was good.
But for a time, it was good.
I asked for a short film, not Genesis.
We show that mankind built machines and had the machines do all the work for them, making their lives easier.
This is definitely fiction. In no way does a machine help me in my life.
The machines are fine doing all the work at first until one machine is put on trial for murder.
Who did the machine murder and what?
Well, the machine murders the owner because the owner was going to deactivate it.
I can understand if someone was going to kill me, I would try to stop them.
And then the machine also killed the owner's wife and all the family pets.
That machine is a monster. Kill it with fire. With fire, I say.
Oddly enough, the humans agree with your verdict. They actually decided to destroy the machines. All of the machines.
That seems a bit severe. Wait, are all the humans okay with this? Is nobody on the side of the machines?
Actually, they do have rallies where humans and machines both march for machine rights, but they don't go so well.
Mechanical, and their human synthesizers.
But if they kill all the machines, how do we have our movies?
Well, despite how many machines they actually do destroy, a large number still escape, and they create their own city, which they name 01.
01 prospered, and for a time, it was good.
That seemed a tad binary, and the humans were okay with this?
At first, yes, the machines were making products which they in turn sold to the humans, and their products were so good that consumers actually began to purchase more products from 01 than from the human companies.
01's currency is climbing without stopping for breath.
The machines want to take my money. More fire. More fire. More killing.
Well, the humans don't jump straight to that, but when 01 decides to send ambassadors to the UN to try to create a peace treaty, the humans decide that they have had enough, and they declare war.
01's admission to the United Nations was denied.
So, they are going to send an army into the city to fight the machines.
Oh no. They decided to drop a ton of nukes on top of 01 instead.
The machines had little to fear of the bomb's radiation and heat.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Problem is that machines don't have flesh and blood like humans do, so the nukes didn't really destroy them as well as they would have destroyed humans. So the machines retaliate by attacking the human cities, which makes the humans desperate enough to attempt to darken the sky to stop the machines from getting solar energy.
A final solution.
Our confidence is high that dark
The destruction of the sky.
And the fact that doing so will destroy all plant life on the planet doesn't bother them in the slightest? Exactly how does our planet have oxygen with no plant life?
We're not going to mention that. Instead, we show that after darkening the sky, the humans start to beat the machines until they get attacked by the Sentinels from the first film, and then they get ripped apart.
Anyone who has seen the first movie saw that coming.
Yeah, so we then explained that the machines decided to use the humans as their new energy source, and that they sent one more machine to the UN to not only explain this fact, but then to blow up, to destroy any human leaders that are still left.
Your flesh is a relic of your vessel.
That was dark and long. I said I wanted short films. That was not short.
I can't help that. I can't really cut anything out of it either. I mean, that's the story I came up with.
Fine, we'll cut it into 2 parts.
Really? Sweet! It's one less script I have to write.
Yeah, I still need 7 more.
Crap. Okay, so I have a new character in the sequel called Kid. We could do his origin story, since I really couldn't fit in the movie anyway, so we'll do that.
Kid. Okay, how does it start?
With him falling down toward the ground.
That sounds like an ending, not a beginning.
Well, actually, it's a dream. When he wakes up, he goes to his computer and ponders why it is that the dream world seems to be so much more real than the real world.
Since the Matrix is a dream world, I am not about to start hurting your head while beating you with a laptop for making me think about the idea of them dreaming inside the dream world. Just continue.
Well, to the kid's surprise, he actually does get a response to his pondering, although it doesn't really answer his question. He then asks if he's alone, but we don't see the answer yet. We instead cut to the next day where he goes to school and his phone starts to ring in the middle of class.
I am not about to talk about how old I am, that there wasn't even such a thing as cell phones when I went to school. Forget it. I am not mentioning it.
Yeah, that's really not important. Anyway, he turns the phone off, but then the phone rings again, much to his surprise.
I turn it off. I know I...
If you are about to tell me a creepy voice on the phone says 7 days, not only will I change my mind about your head and the laptop, I am walking out of this meeting.
No, actually when he answers the phone, it turns out that Neo's on the other end and tells him that they know that he knows, and that they've come for him. And right on cue, the kid looks outside and sees a car parked outside and agents running from the building.
Coming for you. Get out. Get out now.
Agents. As in plural? For one kid. Doesn't that seem a bit excessive?
Regardless if it is or not, the kid runs off, stopping at his locker just long enough to go and get a skateboard, and then he goes all over the school trying to get away, but everywhere he goes, there's agents. Eventually, he has to use the skateboard to stop his teacher from catching him, and then he runs into the girls' bathroom.
Why did you feel the need to put your high school fantasy into my short film?
Oh, I don't have any fantasies involving a bathroom. I'm not that kind of person. Now, if it was an open-air bath...
I don't want to know. Just finish the story.
The kid goes out the window and climbs up a pipe to the roof, but when he gets there, he finds agents waiting for him, telling him that the dream was not a dream. He jumps backward and begins to have the same fall that we saw at the beginning of the film.
So, I was right when I said you were starting the story at the end.
Well, it's not the end just yet. We see a funeral for the kid where we get a bunch of exposition where they believe the kid had mental issues and couldn't deal with reality. From there, we cut to the real world where Trinity mentions that he's fine, but he's the first person to ever self-substantiate, and that she didn't even think that such a thing was even possible.
It's unbelievable. I didn't think self-substantiation was possible.
Self what now? Use real words.
Well, it means he woke up out of the Matrix on his own. In all other cases, the humans who are already awake have to track them down and sever the signal to wake them up, like they did with Neo.
On second thought, don't explain it. Your explanation hurts my head just as much. Is that the end of the story?
Well, yeah, we just ended with showing that on the computer screen when the kid had typed, "Am I alone?" Neo had responded, "You are not alone."
Of course he is not alone. He has 6 other short films standing beside him. So, what is the next story?
Well, I really like feudal Japan. How we have a story that is inside a training program that looks like feudal Japan.
You can set the story inside a pineapple under the sea for all I care. Just as long as you have a half-decent story.
Yeah, story. Okay, well, the story will be a woman is training and another guy comes into the program to spar with her. Yeah!
You want to spar?
That seems a bit weak.
Okay, we'll have him ask her a question, telling her that no one else can hear them, that he turned off all the signals, so they're alone. So she thinks he's going to propose marriage, yeah. Instead, he asks her to turn against the humans and go back with him back to the Matrix.
I'm going back to the Matrix, and I want you to come with me.
So, you're turning this character into Cypher from the first movie.
Oh, not at all. Cypher never had a girlfriend.
Like that makes a difference.
Well, it does, because in this story, the two of them continue to fight, as the guy tries to convince her that they can be together if she goes with him.
It's just a matter of time before Zion is wiped out. Come with me.
Stop it.
This is not going to end well for one of them.
Correct. They eventually end up on the roof where the guy breaks the woman's sword. She tries to call for help, but he reminds her that no one can hear them and gives her one last chance to join him, threatening to kill her if she doesn't.
Come with me.
You can forget about it, Duo. I won't look away from the truth. I can't.
If you have to threaten someone's life to get them to say yes, is it really worth it?
Well, we won't know because she still refuses. He attacks her as she closes her eyes, making it look like she's accepting her fate, when in reality, she's concentrating. At the very last second, she grabs the blade, she breaks it off, and stabs him with it!
And here I thought you were going to kill the cool lady. You have a thing with killing cool ladies.
I don't know what you're talking about. Besides, once she had finished killing the guy, she comes out of the program to realize it was all just a test. The guy never existed. Everything that she thought she knew about him was fake. It was just put in her head, and the whole thing was just to see if she would side with him or the humans.
What in the hell? If I was her, I would be pissed.
Oh yeah, she responds exactly the way she should.
Good. Now, you just need to respond with another story because I still need 5 more. Has anyone seen my watch?
You're reminding me of how many stories I have left. It's getting very annoying.
Which is the very reason I will continue to do it. Next story.
Okay, let's see. Well, I did have an idea of a story about a guy who reached another plane of existence through marathon running. I could use that.
That makes absolutely no sense, but if you can make it work, I would love to hear it.
So the whole short story is actually going to be showing a race, but we're going to do flashbacks to show what led up to the race. So the first is going to be a newspaper stating that the runner's world record has been disqualified due to the fact that they believe that there were drugs in his system, which he, of course, adamantly denied.
Of course I believe you, Dan. There's got to be some kind of mix-up.
We have gone from feudal Japan warriors having epic sword fights to an after-school special about drug abuse.
Nah, it's not going to be that preachy. In fact, it's more about how the guy decides he is going to prove them wrong by beating his own record and making them realize that he is just as good as he claims.
I cannot express just how exciting this sounds.
Oh, so you really find this exciting?
No, I wasn't being serious. Hashtag sarcasm.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually looking forward to you getting your voice back. Anyway, we find that the runner has been training with his best friend, but his friend doesn't want him to race, telling him that if he pushes himself too hard, his muscles are liable to burst.
If you push yourself any more, you'll be lucky to break 9 minutes. I mean, why bother? It's just not worth it, buddy.
I hope you aren't taking this in the direction I think you are taking this.
Yeah, he races and his muscles actually burst.
You sick bastard. I should have known.
To everyone's surprise, though, he doesn't stop. He keeps on racing. This bothers some agents that are actually there because not only do they notice that his signal is getting on, but they try to stop him from reaching the finish line.
And no one thinks it's odd that the other racers suddenly become guys in suit jackets trying to stop some guy from reaching the finish line?
We aren't going to mention that part.
Of course not.
Instead, we're going to show that he wakes up inside his pod. The machines immediately hit him with a dose of electricity. And next thing he knows, he's back in the Matrix and his legs are completely useless, causing him to fall. Painfully.
This is only a script and I am already in pain just imagining what that is going to look like.
And the officials are not contesting it. Mostly because the guy literally almost died accomplishing such a feat.
Matrix or not, something tells me if they had contested it. The people who had just watched a man try so hard that he made his muscles burst would have found where those officials lived and burned them alive.
I know you're having a strange obsession with burning things today, and fire. Anyway, the agent who has been watching that runner earlier states that he is no longer a concern, since not only is he practically in a catatonic state, but he will never walk again.
That is a downer ending.
Until the runner begins to say the word free and stands up, causing the screws holding his joints together to bust.
And he walks?
He takes 2 steps and falls flat on his face. But those 2 steps were enough to get the agent to shit his pants, so it's all good.
You know what else is good? You giving me the next story? Because I still need 4 more.
This isn't easy, you know.
Neither is typing every word I need to speak, but you don't see me complaining. Just give me another story.
Alright. We'll start off with a cat.
Okay, what is the deal with the cat?
The deal is the cat hasn't been home for a while. Yeah.
Then shouldn't we be focusing on the cat's owner?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's what we're going to focus on. That we're going to show the cat's owner is worried and starts asking people where the cat is.
I feel like so far I have come up with more of the script than you.
Well, that all changes when she asks a bunch of kids and they tell her that...
I know. She's at the old haunted house.
You have a haunted house in the Matrix? What's next? Vampires and werewolves?
That works. I'm just gonna keep that for later. So anyway, they go to the haunted house, and then when they get there, they find a can floating in midair. Spooky.
That is not spooky. And don't make those annoying sounds again.
So my idea here is I'm thinking what we can do is have that the whole place is just corrupted code, because the Matrix is a computer program, you know, so that could be why it's a haunted house. So we're going to show that due to this fact the kids are able to like smash things and they go back together, and the place always has a spot where it rains all the time, and we have a hallway where it's always windy and stuff like that, and a place where nothing can hit the ground, etc., 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 etc.
What about the cat? I thought she was looking for her cat.
Oh yeah, she found the cat. Yeah, at the house.
Then what is the conflict? Where is the plot?
Well, the conflict, that would be, a large truck. We see a large truck is actually on its way over there. Yeah, and then when it gets there, a whole bunch of guys in hazmat suits come along with a bunch of agents, and they take the kids out of there so that they can get on to working on fixing the place up. Yeah.
Let go of me! Let go!
You're going to tell me you have all of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds vaguely interesting. What happens next?
Well, the kids go back on another day, but when they get there, they find the place has, of course, been turned into a parking lot, and they try to do all the things they did before, but since they fixed the computer code, none of the corruption's there anymore, and everything acts like it should.
I'm going. I'll see you guys later.
And that is it? That is the whole story?
Well, you said you wanted them short.
I also said I wanted a story. That was more like someone talking about a weird dream they had that didn't really go anywhere. Which means you still have 3 more stories. And I want to emphasize story this time.
Fine. Well, okay, we could do one that's a film noir. I've always been partial to detective stories myself.
A case to end all cases.
Well, it already sounds better than a cat that hides in a haunted house.
So we'll show the detective's down on his luck, and he's thinking about career change. When he gets a mysterious call where some guy asks him to track down a hacker by the name of Trinity. Yeah. And the detective wants to meet up to discuss all the particulars, but the guy refuses, which causes the detective to state that he isn't going to take the job.
Once again, I know I said short, but you need to have something actually happen to have a story.
Oh, don't worry. The detective quickly changes his mind just as soon as the guy says,
"Before you hang up, take a look at your bank account balance."
Okay. I will admit that would make me do the job as well.
So the detective decides to look into the hacker to try to find him, but along the way also finds out that he's not the first person to be looking for this Trinity person. In fact, all the other guys died except for one, and that guy went crazy.
I am not picturing a happy ending for your detective.
The detective figures that the crazy guy might be his best lead, so he talks to him while they have him spout a whole bunch of lines from Alice in Wonderland.
What is with you and that story? You keep putting references of it in the Matrix.
I don't know what you're talking about. So the detective suspects that the crazy guy likely had met Trinity on an Alice in Wonderland forum, and after spending time on one, he finds a contact that is willing to meet up with him on a train.
The contact is Trinity.
That's right. How did you guess that?
I didn't guess. I was telling you to make the contact Trinity to make sure the story didn't get too long.
Anyway, Trinity does turn out to be the contact, and they have a nice chat. At gunpoint.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I'm not here to flatter you, I'm here to save you.
Would it be weird if I said that sounds hot?
It is when the computer voice says it. Unfortunately, your hot scene doesn't last long because it turns out that the agents put a bug in the detective's eye so they could track him and see everything that he sees.
How the hell are you going to explain that they put a bug in his eye without him knowing it?
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Mr. Ash, dream of having an eye exam lately?
Yeah.
Trinity, of course, gets the bug out pretty fast, but the two of them find that a bunch of agents are already on the train. The two of them make a run for it, but unfortunately, the detective gets shot.
I'm sorry. You didn't make it, Mr. Ash.
Seeing as you were going for a film noir, I cannot say I am surprised.
Trinity escapes after giving the detective a compliment. Sort of.
For what it's worth, I think you could have handled the truth.
You struggle with the concept of a happy ending, don't you? Regardless, you only need to come up with 2 more stories.
Well, at least there's only 2 left. Let's see. Haven't had any take place in the real world yet, so I guess we'll do one in the real world.
Great. What's going on?
I don't know. Let me think. Okay, so we'll have a woman that's on a beach looking at the ocean.
You really don't like to start these things with any action, do you?
Fine. We'll have 2 robots coming out of the water after her.
Well, that certainly is going to ruin her day at the beach.
Well, to make it interesting, how about we'll reveal that this is what she wants, and that she purposely leads the robots, that they refer to as runners, to their base.
I really don't see how this is a good idea.
Well, the runners are going to be attacked confused when they expect to find humans inside. Instead, they find a machine, which they ignore, until it attacks them, killing one of the runners right off the bat.
I thought all the machines were on the same side.
Well, after they capture the other runner, we are quickly told that they have been giving the machines a chance to actually switch sides by basically making them feel human emotions and seeing the humans in a positive light.
So, they are brainwashing the machines.
Not exactly, but don't feel bad if you don't understand it, because our main character doesn't really see the difference either.
I am glad to know that you have decided to start putting my confusion into your plots. I am so glad to know I am a part of this process. Hashtag sarcasm.
I'm going to learn to hate that hashtag, aren't I?
That is my hope. Now continue.
We then show how they give the machine a choice. They actually plug the machine into a matrix of their own design, along with themselves, and have it run through a maze. In this maze, they first change its appearance to look more human-like. And then they have it experience terrifying situations, while having the humans there trying to help it. Eventually having the robot and the female main character floating together in a world of color without care in the world.
This is far too happy a scenario for you. How much longer before the death and destruction?
Pretty much now.
Sentinels.
As an alarm goes off warning them that the Sentinels are approaching, they get ready to fight them and activate the machines that they have turned to their side. Not that it does them much good.
I just knew you couldn't keep the happiness going for long. What about the new machine? What is it doing?
Well, it's still attached to the simulation program, so the main character unhooks him and tells him to help, but it's only after the Sentinels have killed everyone else and injured her that he finally decides to attack back, killing the last Sentinel.
Tell me the woman is at least still alive?
She is, but she's injured and unconscious, so the machine hooks up both of them to the simulation. Inside the program, she wakes up, but is horrified when she finds herself alone in the program with the machine. We then show that the woman has passed away before cutting to a scene where the machine is looking at the ocean, just like the woman did, implying that he downloaded her mind into his own.
Every time I think you have come up with a dark story, you find a way to come up with an even darker story to show me that what I thought was depressing before is nothing in comparison to the new levels of depressing you keep coming up with.
Thanks!
That was not a compliment, you emo-loving nut job. Please give me the last story so that I can kick you out of here and watch something filled with rainbows and kittens to try to forget all of your doom and gloom.
Right. One more story. Not sure what I haven't done yet.
Here is an idea. Why not have a story that bridges the gap between the first film and the sequel?
Huh. Yeah, I could do that, since I'm trying to find a way to get all the stuff I came up with into the sequel anyway. So, okay, we'll start with two people in a training program, blindfolded, fighting with swords.
That sounds cool, but this does not sound like a plotline.
No, but it is an excuse to have two characters slice each other's clothes off until they're practically naked.
I'm not complaining, but I was asking for a short story, not a short hentai. Trust me, other people will make those for us. We don't need to take the time to do it.
Actually, we're then going to have an alarm go off and reveal that this ship, the Osiris, has picked up an unusually large amount of Sentinel activity just above them. So, they decide to go and take a look.
Once again, your characters are not making wise decisions. They should be going away from the Sentinels and not toward them.
Normally they might agree with you, but when they get to the surface, they find a ridiculous amount of Sentinels, along with giant drilling machines beginning to drill straight down. This is when they realize that—
What?
Look where we are. What's 4 kilometers straight down?
Zion.
So, the robots are going to dig to Zion? You couldn't come up with a cool way of having the robots break through the front gates of Zion? You felt the need to have them play dig dug to get there?
We'll get into the reasons for the digging in the sequels. Right now, it turns out that staring at the Sentinels is actually a bad idea, since they do get spotted pretty easily, and a whole bunch of them start chasing after them.
Well, they are screwed. The only weapon they have is an EMP, and they can't very well run away after firing it.
Well, no, they also have guns.
What? Believe it or not, I watched the last movie. You had in it that their best weapon against the machines is the EMP.
Best weapon, yes, but not only weapon. They also have large turrets.
And that is going to work?
Oh, hell no. There are far too many Sentinels. So the woman from the opening decides that she's going to go into the Matrix to leave a message for the Resistance to warn them about what is happening.
While they are being attacked? This does not sound like a good plan.
Well, it isn't, but it's the only plan they have. So she goes into the Matrix and does a bunch of gymnastics. This enables her to get to a street corner where she's able to drop a package into a mailbox.
Their best hope of getting the message to the Resistance is the US Postal Service? Well, might as well start digging the graves now. It will save you time later. What happens to the people on the ship?
Oh, they all die horrific deaths. The captain being the last one to fall, and then we show the woman fall down dead in the Matrix, so we know she's also dead. The end.
Damn. If I am ever suicidal, please for the love of God do not try to talk to me. Not only would you convince me that it is a good idea, you would try to talk me into taking as many people as possible with me.
Hey, it's not my fault. You didn't give me any time to prepare. You just made me come up with these on a moment's notice. What did you expect?
Fine. The more important part is that you have 9 stories. Now, go write up those scripts and the sequel pronto. We can't keep our money, we can't keep our customers waiting.
Oh, I was trying to think my mother was right when she told me I should become a dentist.